Trapped by the belief that I'm not good enough, bound by the limitations and the lies that consumed my world, this was me. It wasn't until I took the biggest leap in my life to know and trust the power within. And it was at that moment I made a choice. My past will not define me anymore. Hello, I am Teri, and I know I am not alone in this. Over the years, I have found that the number one mistake that we make is that we get in the way of our own success story. Yes, I said it. On this show, together we'll tackle limiting beliefs, self sabotage, getting stuck, fear, doubt, overwhelm, and the imposter syndrome. Join us on this journey designed to transport you beyond your limitations to a world where anything is possible. This is Talking with Teri. Hello, and welcome back to Talking with Teri, where we have powerful conversations to transform your life and your business. And this lady today, I'm just telling you, some of us think that we have a magic cape. Well, this one wears like 14 magical capes. I'm just going to tell you, okay? This lady, I am so excited to introduce you to Sami Martinez. She's a mom, a grandmother, an interior designer, and just a badass business owner. I'm so excited to have you today on the show. So welcome, Sami.
Thank you, Teri.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's for folks that have not met you, let's unpack this. I shared with you, what's been your overcomer story, and I think your overcomer story just continues to evolve, right? As do all of us. But tell us a little bit about you and kind of bring us up to speed, and then I'd love to hear from you. Like, what's been your biggest challenge on your personal journey so far?
Well, I ended up a single mom, which was not the plan in life. Was raising my daughter, ended up fostering my second daughter and adopting her while I was going to college and working. So it was a little bit of a challenge having social workers run through my life as a single mom, still trying to keep up with everything, working full time. But I kind of learned along the way that not to say no. They're
Yeah.
just I could do more than I thought I could, and to
Yeah.
not be afraid.
And I know it's okay. Well, and I think and so you went on and you've foster cared for and or adopted, right? How many, I
I've
mean,
adopted the one daughter, yes,
okay,
and
the one
then
daughter, and then fostered over 30 children, which is just
yes,
incredible. This is incredible.
yes, not at once, not at
Yeah,
once.
not at once, but I just think that's so inspiring, I think, because especially for myself, because I used to be a therapist, and in my therapy
Mhm.
world, we would go in and especially early in my career when I was doing more of the case management types of work, and just seeing these kids in foster care situations where it was not any better than what they came from, and they were removed from those homes for a reason, right? And so it gives me great hope that folks like yourself and that are out there helping these kids, because it's incredible to know that you've had so much impact on so many people.
You never hear about the homes that are just taking care of anything. You just
Yeah.
hear about the ones that go bad,
Yeah,
and
it's true,
there's a
it's
lot of
true.
people trying to do good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you say has been your biggest challenge, going through, where you've come from? Like, what has been some of your biggest challenges?
The biggest challenge was learning to not listen to everybody else because as a single mom, everybody else was like, "No
Has an
way,
opinion,
no
has an
way.
opinion,
You will
right?
never get married. You will never find a husband." And it was like, "That's not my focus. My focus is my baby."
Yeah.
There wasn't I would choose anything different.
Mhm.
And every time I was open, it seemed like I had more opportunity.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was odd because all the information coming in was everybody saying, "Don't do this, don't do this, it's going to be terrible, it's going to be bad, how will you do this?" And I just said, "I am, and we'll make a way." So yeah.
Yeah. I think that's so important, because I think is whether you're a mom, whether I mean, it doesn't matter what your role is on this planet.
I do think that there is always going to be the naysayers. There's going to be the doubters. There's going to be the ones. And I think it's more about them than it is about us. And
Yes.
I was literally just talking about this yesterday. And I was joking about how at one point I got um told that I was a fun pusher. And she's like, "Why do you have to be such a fun pusher?" And let me give you context on this, okay? Because people
Huh?
are gonna be like, "What the heck?" Folks that know me probably know that I'm a fun person. I'm like, I don't care. I don't mind the title. But the context was
Please.
we were at a wedding. We were at a wedding, a good friend's wedding, and we were out on the dance floor. And I got off the dance floor, went up to the bar area, and I saw this person. I said, "Hey, do you want to go dance?" And I said it just like that. And she's like, "Why do you have to be such a fun pusher?" And you know, and we were talking about this, and and so thankfully there the guy right next to her saved my day, because I looked at her and I looked at him and I said, "Hey, I'm a fun pusher. Do you want to go have fun?" And he's like, "Heck yeah." So he comes out, thankfully, whew, saved me, right?
Yeah.
But I think little moments like that, right? And that's so insignificant, I realize, right? But if I could have been crushed by that and be like, "Oh my gosh, like I am a fun pusher. Like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me." Duh. I could have ruined my night. It could have, you know what I'm saying? Like those little things. And even though it seems really small and insignificant, those moments have an impact on our overall journey, right? And so we've got to be, we've got to have that wherewithal. And I think it's going back and trusting ourselves. It's like, if I know in my heart of hearts I can do something, you're going to do it. You're going to like accomplish it. But we're going to have those naysayers. We're going to have people that have not been in your shoes, or think that they can be in your shoes, or want to be in your shoes, or whatever that is. And they're going to tell you and talk you off of it. And I think it's so important, but that's not an easy. I'm just curious, like, do you recall like how like that skill was developed in you, or how you came to be in that place? Like, I'm not going to listen to them, because I think we, and myself included, have fallen victim to that, you know, too much, right? Like growing up in the stories and all of this stuff. So how at one point did you get to a point that you're like, "No, I'm just going to like let them be their own, and I'm going to do my thing."
I've always been really independent. Like, so when I was 21, um, had the garbage disposal break, and I was like, well, why would I pay someone all this money to come out and do it? It's simple. Like, I can see what the parts are.
Yeah.
They screw together. And my neighbor comes over and he's like, oh my gosh, what did you do? And I'm like, I'm just putting this back and it worked just fine. But he was thinking that I had bitten off more than I could chew. And I was like, I've never had that. No, I can't, in my brain. I've heard
Mhm.
other people say it, but I've always taken it as a challenge. It's like, you say I can't do it. I work in a man's industry. I work in construction all day long. I get patted on the head and told, you know, get
Oh,
me a
yeah.
bourbon, or,
Yeah. Right.
I need a cigar or golf club or something. And I'm like, I'll just make my own way in this.
Yeah.
And please don't tell me what I can't do, because I'll just do it and I'll do it better. So
Right. I know, right? That strong, that
yeah,
sense of but that's been your personal journey, right? Like that's, we just don't necessarily wake up with that confidence built in, but there's somewhere along the journey that says, "You know what? No. I'm going to just trust my divine being and my um, you know, my knowing, and
yeah.
trusting that I can do this."
And I think I had to have a lot of independence when I was younger, when I was little, even. Mom was working. I took care of the household, even in elementary school. Like, I always took care of my younger sister and made meals and did those things. When I was in high school, I actually put myself most of the way through college during high school and worked 3 jobs. And it was just,
Wow.
yeah, I've always had a little different vision
Yeah.
and wanted something different. I might have not known the path I was going to head into,
Right.
but knew that there wasn't, I didn't want to follow what other people were telling me. And
Yeah.
maybe it's just that rebel in me that doesn't want to
Yeah.
be told
Right.
that,
I know, right? I think we all have a little bit of a rebel at some point in
oh
some
yeah,
areas in our life. Not, But
Exactly.
I love this because I love not no, I couldn't say this earlier. Like I hated being told no. Like I was like devastated and I would cry and I'd be like, "What?" But it as that evolved, I do kind of like being told no. And it's like
Yeah.
because it's like that's my trigger now. It's a positive trigger, but it's a positive trigger to go like, okay, all right, that didn't work. And now I get to really tap into be, creative. I get to really tap into what I call, like my magic, and be like, okay, let's go create. Let's go figure this out. Let's go, tap in. Like, what have I been blinded by?
Yeah.
Resources, connections, collaborations, all of that stuff that says, okay, no, I can create this. If I have the thought and I have the belief that I can do this, there's a way. I just haven't found the way yet, you know?
Exactly.
And
Exactly. And honestly, with all the information we have nowadays at our fingertips, there's nothing you can't learn really quickly. So
yes.
that being told no, it's like, okay, maybe that path wasn't the path, but there's got to be at least 10 other paths to get there. And it's that not giving up.
Yeah.
So even with my foster babies that would come in the house, I would have social workers in and therapists in and doctor, like all the things you'd have to do. And you're dealing with their trauma and they've got food insecurities and the minute they walk into the house, they don't have clothes that fit them and shoes, and you're outfitting a child and possibly three children at a time just to get them off to school the next day. And so there's this bigger picture of all these things that need to happen in
Mhm.
life. And I guess that just as every phone call I got, I tried to say yes to every child that I could along the way.
Mhm.
And I can count all the times I had to say no, which was so difficult. It was one of those things that made me feel guilty that
Yeah.
I wasn't able to provide for that opportunity that was, that child, because I saw that it wasn't just, this isn't a placement. These are children. These are, bringing them in, finding a little structure, finding normalcy, doing the simple things of just having regular meal, like all of the things you need to do. It's not complex.
Yeah.
These things are just one step at a time. And it's funny they call you, fun pusher, because I have people call me the ringleader of fun. And
I love it.
so,
Girl, we could
so
we could
yeah,
we could work it. We could do something here. Yeah.
usually I'm the one who's like planning all the fun. So it's not, sometimes it's spontaneous, but it's usually because there was more kids attached. It was like, we're going to the beach, we're going here. Heck, we'll just go to Sam's Club and go get pizza and ices for everybody, right? Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just something.
Yeah, I love it. And so, you have now created a really a name for yourself. You have been doing interior designing, and now you're building this incredible empire. And I just have heard little snippets of what you're creating, and I just can't wait to see where you take your next steps here. So, what does the future hold for you?
So right now I networked for the job I have right now. I actually intentionally went and found this person I'm working with, this general
Hmm.
contractor who's been building here for 40 years. I've been designing for nearly 30. So we're a good combination, and he's allowing me to explore new avenues. So the market has changed, sales have changed, everything has changed. The interest rates are up, people are scared, and I'm not well, I should say I'm busy right now, and it's actually getting busier, and it's way more exciting because the projects are getting bigger, and I have free reign to do and bring in and create and design more than just the interior now. I get to design the entire house. I
Yeah,
bring in
from
my own
from from
clients.
scratch, from absolute scratch. But I just
Yeah.
wonder, like, again, like it's so exciting to see you and blossom. But it's also, I just think that everything that you've brought forward with you, like, being able to say yes, being in the place, and I know that, we can say like, well, we also have to be able to say no, right? And, we have to distinguish between those yeses and nos. And I think those yeses came from your personal, with the, of those children that were being brought to you. But, so being able to say yes to opportunities, I think is the key, right? That opens up doors. But also being able to stand in your power and not let those naysayers, because I'm guaranteeing you, you're probably coming up with some naysayers right now as you are, expanding, into this new direction, right?
And you know what? It's funny. I probably just have tuned them out at this point,
Yeah.
but I even had meetings yesterday and the day before, and everything has been me creating these big ideas and people nodding their head and going, yes. And I'm like, eh, okay, is everyone
Right.
really in agreement? Are they really that excited about this? Because
Yes.
this is fun. These are breaking into new ground. And I'm enjoying it and
And
looking
I
around
think
going, everyone's in alignment.
that is the best place to be in, right? Because
Yeah.
from an energetic perspective, that means you've raised the bar from those naysayers. They're like, they're not even there. They're like, if they are there, they're like in the background. They have no power. They have no voice. They have no control. Like, and you're just like, you're living your best life, right? And you're allowing
Yeah.
yourself to be fully in alignment, in your, in every aspect. And when you get that, and your personality is infectious, because it lifts people, it allows people to just, like, want to spend time with you, right? And so, like, again, like, that's what you're creating, which is beautiful.
Well, and so on that note, Friday nights I actually have a date night with my 11-year-old where I've gotten on roller skates again. So I bought some cute pink floral roller skates.
I
We
love
go
it.
roller skating. I'm like, whoever wants to bring their kids, just bring them or come roller skate. Like, go live, go live your
Yeah.
childhood again, right? All the things
Yeah.
that we give up and we think that, oh my gosh, I'm too old to do that. It's like, why? Why are we too old to do that?
Yeah.
We're only as old as we think we are.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
just
That's a great
jump
little
in.
tip. That's a great little tip, is like, you know what, we can still be in a place of joy and still play. And during the pandemic, I learned how to skateboard, and so I still skateboard. It's a skill now, and I feel like I'm pretty good at it. But the other night I was like, and my daughter was like, no, it was kind of in a bad mood, and I was trying to cheer her up a little bit, and I was like, "Do you want to go skateboard?" And she goes, "Maybe." And I'm like, "Okay." So we went and skateboarded after I got home, and so it was really fun. But I think
Exactly.
that, again, I don't think we're ever too, old to learn new tricks, and really be playful. I saw a meme the other day. It was like a video, and this lady was, I betcha, 75 to 80 years old. She was at the stadium, and there was some fun music playing, and she was just dancing as she was walking down. And I was like, yes, yes, give me some more of
Yes,
that, please. Right? Like, I want to be that
exactly.
lady when I'm her age, and being like, life is still precious. And you know what? Like, we deserve that. We absolutely deserve that.
I have a dear friend who is back in California, and she's taken in over 100 foster kids and like she's adopted all
Wow.
of them. It seems like not quite, but she would get her Winnie the Pooh costume on and jump on the trampoline with the kids, and her older children was like, oh my
Oh my
gosh, but
gosh.
she's
It's
like,
so embarrassing.
why am I not going to have fun? Why this is actually more fun that you're embarrassed, but
Yeah,
why
right?
am I not going to have fun? So yeah, surrounding yourself with
Yes.
people who can find joy with you is really important because
Yeah.
they say what you're the lowest sum
Yeah.
total of the five people around you. So
Yeah.
choose those wisely, right?
Yeah.
We can choose to be with Eeyore all day long, and you're going to be Eeyore as well.
Yeah.
And we can lift those people up, but it doesn't mean we have to have them in your inner circle,
Yeah.
you know, bringing you back down. So
I love it.
I,
Look,
I
you
think
can be in the Sammy and I said Tammy and
fix it.
Terry and Sammy circle, where we can be the fun ring. You could be the ringleader. I'll be the fun pusher, and we could tag team. Like, I'll be your marketer for your
There you
ring.
go.
Fun.
Exactly. And I'll like encourage you to get on the table and dance and have fun.
But I
So
do think that, I do think life is too short to be, so serious all the time, right? And so if we can play, and
exactly.
so just giving yourself permission to play, because again, from a vibrational standpoint, the more that we're in that playful, high vibration energy, we know that we're actually creating faster and more efficiently when we're in that vibration versus when we're in these, even just like a place of contentment, right? Like even in a place of contentment. And so when we can raise our vibration and whatever those things are, like I was asking someone a couple days ago, I said, well, what brings you joy? And she had to think about that, which I don't know if that was the saddest part about it, right? Or that she really, I had to like prompt her to come up with an idea, right? But I do
Yeah.
think that, what we have to have that assessment of ourselves of like, what does bring me joy?
Well,
Yes, we
yeah.
can create it internally, but if we cannot create it internally, what can we do externally that can jumpstart that
What
and
I
get us
think as
back in that place
wives
of alignment?
and as mothers and wives, mothers, grandmothers, like we focus on the joy of everybody else around us, and we become that we're taking care of making sure they have their joy. Because I had one of the same conversations with somebody. They're like, you can kill a business plan, you can do this, what brings you joy? And they said, and not what brings your children joy. And I was like, I had about an 8-second panic attack before I was like, okay, can whiskey be involved? And they're like, sure. And I'm like, okay, maybe a paddleboard, maybe, I'm like, actually travel. Like if I can just get in the car and go, I don't care if it's road trip. So I can get those things. Um, but along the way, I found this key to this, that I get to choose. I may not feel happy that day, but I can
Yeah,
choose to be joyful. I can choose
yeah,
my attitude, how I put it out to the world. And it seems like as soon as I choose that, the rest of the other uh,
yeah,
junk seems to start falling away, because you're projecting back what you want.
yeah,
And I could sit in my sadness of, oh my gosh, these children, they've had so much abuse, my
yeah,
this, whatever's going here, I've got all these things to do, my busyness, and I could choose to revel in that,
mm,
and revel in the, oh my gosh, I've got 14 houses I'm trying to price, and I've got this to do, and I've got that to do, and I've got 57 meetings, and you can let that, you can go into that with a poor attitude and like stressed out. But if you just stop and go, okay, you know what? This is a joyful moment. This is exciting to be this busy. This is
yeah,
exciting that this child is in a better place for this moment. That, their journey is starting, and I get to do this. And each of these journeys, like you're choosing this path and
yeah,
this journey every single day. And I might have failed 4 times yesterday, but it doesn't mean when I get up this morning, I'm not going to go be determined to do something better. Might fail again, probably will. I'll probably stumble. I'll probably fall on roller skates tonight. So that'll be okay. Hey, if you want to come
please
and
be safe.
laugh, that's
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right?
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. I might look like a dork, but I'm willing to look like the geek or the dork or whatever it is, and put myself out there, and just choose it
Yeah.
every day and be intentional.
Yeah. And I think that's absolutely spot on, because how we choose to show up is a game changer, right? It is absolutely, we can I just years ago I did this what do you call it? I'm gonna space the name of it now. The glider rides. And the glider ride, it was so interesting because, there's a lady in front of us and she landed and my family was there, and she shared her experience. And then I landed and then I shared my experience. And my husband goes, oh my gosh. He's like, you had such a different experience. Like you were so excited and you were like, da, 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 da. And I was like, da. And this other lady, he's like, I was really concerned because this lady comes back and was like, that was dumb. I wasted my time. I didn't go do this. I didn't go do this. I didn't see this. I didn't, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, boom. And he was like, it was bad. He's like, but I'm glad you had a great experience, because he's like, I thought you were going to have a terrible experience, because after hearing her complain about it. And I was like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Right. But again, it's how we show up. It's how we experience life. And not only is that just moment to moment, that becomes our personality, that becomes how we live life. And I think I got the greatest compliment yesterday, because I was sharing an embarrassing moment. And I said, I don't know if I'm going to use this for content for this event coming up or not. And she's like, you really need to. And I was like, all right. And she's like, I just love that you're living what you're teaching and preaching. Like you are living it, like you are embracing it, and you're doing this. And I just was like, that's probably the greatest compliment that anyone can give someone, is that you're doing it, you're living it, right? And I would say that to you is like, you're being this beacon of light for other people to follow and say, yes, we can have an incredible life. But it starts within, and it starts with what we believe, and how we're showing up and how we're experiencing life. And, we can make lots of different choices, but I hope that we choose joy. I hope that we choose, to see the greatness in it, in that moment.
Life is messy,
Yeah.
and it stays messy. I think there's this delusional thing that somehow when you're living your best life, there's not this messiness around you. There's not this junk.
Yeah.
There's not all this
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like, it's
Still
always going
comes
to be
up.
messy.
Yeah. It's gonna,
Exactly.
because we're here to evolve and grow. And I don't know
Yeah.
that, we would, I had a girlfriend years ago, and she said, if I didn't just do anything, I just sat on my hiney for years, would I still show up in the same place? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, we're going into like some deep physiologic, thought here, but I said, you know what? I do believe that, this is our human experience, And so
Mhm.
even when we are, like you said, living our best life, we're still being faced with stuff. Like I just had something blow up in my face like a couple of days ago, and I'm like, wow, that was fun. And
Exactly.
so, but you're moving forward with it.
Well, and the outside world sees something and they expect, because you're joyful and you're happy,
Right.
that it must be perfect. Like you must have this perfect path. What's your secret? And it's like, no, are you kidding? My life is a disaster half the time. And I've got grandkids spilling juice in the back seat, and this and that, and things going crazy. And the computer does this or whatever it might be that day. It's all going to be messy and crazy, but it doesn't change what I'm doing and how excited I am about every single day.
Yes.
So
I love that.
I
That's
think
that's
it's
a
I think
perfect
it's
way
funny
to.
when people say that. Yeah,
I know.
you must be an angel. It's perfect. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah, but I know how to manage it. I know how to handle it. I know, like life has given me enough experience to know how to to overcome the challenges.
Exactly. I might
Love
have
it.
to go sit in a hot bath just to figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Well, it's been such a delight to connect with you here. Where can people connect with you?
So I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm not doing YouTube yet. It's the next thing that's coming. We are going to start, I think, filming a build here very shortly. We're working on our pre-production schedule, so that will be fun. We're
Nice.
hoping to get that out so people can see the inner workings of how to put together a home and what it looks like
Nice.
along that journey. So,
Love it. Well, I will put that down in the show notes. So make sure that you go and connect and follow and like. And I am so delightful to thank you for being you, and thank you for shining your light so brightly for all of us.
thank you, Teri.
I am so grateful that you joined me for this episode. If you've enjoyed this, then there's just one thing that I would like you to do. Click to subscribe and leave me a rating and review. As my way to thank you, let's connect for a free consultation. Just reach out to me at talkingwithteri, that's TERI.com, to book your time.